University of Virginia to the classroom at UNC Chapel Hill, Dr. Deborah Stroman has it all covered. Now this professor and sports business entrepreneur is about to take you to school. It's time for Dishing It Up with Dr. Stroman and the Sports Shop on Buzz Sports Radio.
D. Stroman.
Dr. Stroman.
Good morning.
Good morning, good
Man, how are you this morning?
I am feeling good. I'm still down in Charlotte with the Jumpman tournament.
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Excited, the Invitational, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. But
Yes.
listening to your conversation about NC Central and having a new field house, new football center, and though the only thing I can think about is it is a small school, and most small schools, mid-majors, are designed for taking care of the athlete in the sense of everything is supposed to be geared towards helping them be better, do better, all that good stuff.
Right.
Your bigger schools, your Division I's, your Power 5, 6 conferences are designed for the spectator, which basically means commercialization.
I thought about that.
Do the seats feel good? How is the parking? Are the vendors great? How about the media? All of that. And I'm not saying that the big schools aren't designed for the athlete, because we know they get the finest facilities, they get nutrition, they get strength and conditioning and all of that. But it's basically two different mission objectives. And the reason why I say all this is because as much as we know, and especially the love we have for HBCUs and smaller schools, they don't have the full commitment to build a really nice facility. They're just not in the sports. I mean, think about Deion Sanders was a great example of how he was trying to change the mentality of what goes on at an HBCU. And I even listened to some of the students who are reporting in terms of what did they feel about Deion leaving. Most of them said, we don't care. We don't really go to football games. If we go, it's for the band. And so you're talking about changing a culture on a campus that does not eat, sleep, and drink sports like Duke or Carolina or State, or, they aren't into it. And so to try to, and yes, I can name names, but to try to get a president of a university at Central or they're not into it. They just don't care. Quote me on it.
So, well, I would disagree slightly. I would say they're into winning, right? So if you're winning,
all right, hold on. Define they. That's what I'm getting at. The they. Who wants to win?
Well, I mean, like the students and the alumni and the base, the fans.
No, they don't care.
If you're winning, they care.
No. Look at the facilities. They don't care.
Oh, you mean care with your money?
Yeah, absolutely. They don't care.
Well, that's a different conversation because
Right.
I can care all day long, but that don't mean I want to
That's
contribute.
right. Now you go over to Carolina, and that's 3 out of 4 of us are affiliated with. Those folks care, and they put their money there, and they demand from the coach, you need to try to get this person, recruit this player, and if you're not doing the best job, then I'll go stick 2 or 3 Benjamins in their hand. I'll make sure that they get a car. Now we got NIL, of course, so you can do it a little bit more above board. But they don't care. And I'm not faulting Central alumni or St. Aug or Grambling, or I'm not faulting them. I'm just saying their mentality is we like sports, we like going to the games, but they don't have a deep care that every time I go into this facility, this arena, whatever, I want the best conditions.
Wow.
I don't want bleachers that's going to give me a splinter in my butt, right?
Okay.
I'm not going to be fussing about. They don't care about sports like the bigger schools do.
I guess we don't tip either.
Yeah.
That's
the frustration.
We're talking to Dr. Deborah Stroman, D. Stroman. We dish her each and every Thursday, last show this year. That's an interesting perspective. I wouldn't say they don't care, because I think that's really kind of over the top when you say they don't care. I think they may have other interests that may have a priority versus what you're talking about.
Okay, semantics. Okay.
Like, no,
Okay.
okay.
No. That's a real
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It's a
No,
real.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay.
I just said it more directly.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the other part is
care,
that is culturally, historically, or whatever you want to say, that has been the case. Is what you're saying, but it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the case. And I think this last 12 months, in particular, and Chris Paul started, we talked about it before, and Ken Griffith Jr. I think when people start focusing on the brand, and now the proudest moments, in my opinion, for HBCU has been in the last 12 months. I mean, everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants to go to HBCU. The brand is big. Enrollment's going to go up through the roof for North Carolina Central and for Jasper State and all those places because of what's happening on the field. So maybe that can translate to dollars. Maybe people would care because of that. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but maybe I would be pleasantly surprised if that would happen.
Well, the research there's been conflicting research, but
sure.
I remember when I was teaching sport management at Chapel Hill, one of the research pieces that we would always look at was some research around the Doug Flutie effect, right?
Okay.
Boston College throws the Hail Mary, and all of a sudden enrollment goes up.
Yeah.
So I was thinking for sure people are going to be more interested in Central because of the national spotlight.
Yes.
So if you have to defend a Central or a HBCU that all of a sudden gets this moment of fame, if we look historically, what has sports done for HBCUs? Not much. It's made people happy. They won trophies. They've got people motivated, barbecues, cookouts, and more interest. But it doesn't have the same translation like it does at the bigger schools. I mean, they market it well. When they recruit. In fact, one of the I don't know if it was scientific research that was done. Yes, it was. In fact, when we were talking about admissions at Carolina, some of the academics were upset because when they asked the students, why did you choose Carolina? I mean, like a large percentage said, because of Carolina basketball. That's like a slap in the face to UNC academics, right? Arguably the top public school institution. But for HBCUs, because they're not focused on athletics, so if they have someone who's an amazing athlete, they don't leverage it like these other schools. It's just the reality.
That's interesting.
Now, what's really sad is that it's taken so long for HBCUs and smaller schools to realize that sports can really do so much for your university. I was really disappointed with the marketing for both schools, but definitely for Central in terms of how if you watch a major sporting event for college sports, one of the highlights for the commercials is when your university, their communication team, puts together the promo video for the university.
That's right.
And they use a drone and they show the different beautiful parts of the campus. They show it's a mixture of academics, athletics. They show some STEM shots. I mean, all this amazing stuff. And I was waiting for that video for Central. I didn't see one. But I did see, I saw a quick cut to some broadcasters eating chicken. I was like, what is this? It was just they missed the moment.
That was Jay Walker and the other lady.
Terrible. And hilarious at the same time.
I didn't understand that either. What that was doing when Central was playing, they normally go to the schools.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they didn't show anything. That's a good point.
Just stereotypes.
But I know, but I think that's more ABC and ESPN versus. I know Central had a video.
No, you get the opportunity to put on a video to show your school.
Oh, right,
and there was nothing.
I hadn't really thought about that. That's interesting.
Oh, that's
and if they did have something ready, and then to not take advantage of it and push back and say, well, we're not going to do X, Y, Z if we don't get a chance to showcase our university from the academic perspective. So, I love Central. I love the HBCUs, but they really don't get athletics and how it can be used to help elevate the entire university. And that's a sad miss. It just flat out is a sadness. Now, we're not asking you to be like the bigger schools that go so commercialized that you lose your focus, because some would argue that that's what's happened if you go in the other direction. But they're really, really missing a moment. One of my friends who I was watched the game with, Eagle alum, she was referencing how there was even no talk about the NFL players that had come out of Central. There's no mention. So I'm just wondering about the marketing that was taking place for the game for Central.
Wow.
Just so many misses.
I was going to feel. Oh, man, we're talking with Dr. Stroman
Wow.
on Dishing It Up with D. Stroman, same as we
Good
do.
stuff.
Same we do each and every day. Dr. Stroman, last question for me in reference to the comment, they don't care, they're really not engaged. Do you think as a society, we come from an entity of givers or takers when it comes to giving back?
When it comes to giving back,
Yeah.
so human nature, I think we're all givers and takers. And what I believe we should all strive to be is be more giving than taking.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to, HBCUs, it's no secret that alums don't give much to the university.
Well, as a minority society, though, like if you had to look at it and say across the board, do minorities give back?
Absolutely. In fact, I can boast about Virginia. We have the black alumni of Virginia have a higher giving rate than white alums. And I'm hopeful that's happening at other places, maybe not to the extent of Virginia. But I'm a strong believer that you give to what you love. You make time for that which you love.
Nice.
And so in many ways, even if we go one-on-one relationships, there's a lot of surface stuff.
Yeah.
I like being around you. I like the way you make me smile. I love the way you make me feel. But taking that next step where you demonstrate that with giving, as in with financial giving or giving of your spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't see that. And again, I'm not going to necessarily only blame the giver. You have to present something that is easy and attractive, and it's the easy way to give. You think about our relationships with white institutions, historically white institutions. They make it so easy for us to give. Everything from text to give to, you go onto the platform. There's a
just
big
say everything.
Okay,
everything.
everything.
Cash out.
Wow.
If you want to empty the ashtray on the way into the stadium,
That's
whatever
the way.
you want to do.
Dr. Stroman, I'm going to give you a heads up. This is going to hit the YouTube now. People out there, they may feel a lot different than you feel about your comments, so I just give you a heads up.
You know I'm not.
Trust me, that was rhetorical.
As they say in church, it's tight, but it's right.
Thank you.
I just put it out there.
But it's right. And it's conversations like this that will evoke change.
But you know what?
Get people thinking.
I would like to add this real quick, and I'm going to shut up. It's interesting when I look at it, I said, why is A&T and Hampton keep jumping around, do conferences? Because when they had those games against Mammoth, people are like, nobody want to go see them play.
Right.
But maybe there's another strategy because they figured that, football ain't going to really bring us a whole lot anyway. So maybe I go to these other conferences where I get these research dollars so I can raise up. Because I look at A&T a little differently because I think their alumni, they do contribute significantly. I don't know that for a fact, but I just thought that may have something to do with Mac.
I think we should.
Because they bounced around. They left the MEAC and went to the Big South, and now they're going to the CAA. That's interesting. Something to think about.
I think seeing that what you said is true, we probably all should be studying the alumni base and figuring out how you guys got so many minority alumni to give back in Virginia. Because I'm telling you, you say it, Dr. Stroman, as if it was like, a matter of fact. I'm just telling you that's not the case for the most part. So that's interesting. I would be interested to see, how they got it to be such an engaging base.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me work on that so I can write something up and share it with you all. But it starts with we take ownership of the university. With the historical ugliness of enslavement and Thomas Jefferson and what he said about black folks and all that, we have created a family atmosphere. And you want for your children's children, we want folks to have a good experience. And so we're very engaged. We care about what goes on. We have a seat at the table. We have a voice at the table. A lot of the stuff that has happened at the university since the Tiki Torch folks.
Right.
All of that.
Right.
The Black alumni
That's
are seriously engaged in helping with policy, helping with procedures, and now with the tragedy. But I wish the HBCUs would do a better job with marketing and moving to the state-of-the-art 21st century with the technology. Now, this was years ago, but I remember my engagement with the HBCU up in Maryland, and how I was trying to go in and help and provide some value, and they were still using paper and pencil for alumni information.
Yeah. Now,
it's like this is just so
you won't tell.
antiquated.
I got some stories for you.
Yeah. I mean, I got some current stories for you.
Whoa.
So
exactly.
yeah. So I mean, I get. And the thing is that there's some people that think that that's okay.
No, they can't.
No. There's some people
they
don't want change,
Right.
and that's what this was all about. Even again, last 12 months, using sports as even this whole Dion thing, this him kind of it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that's on the
Much
field.
bigger.
Yeah, yes. By fact,
Look how you all are treated media. When you go over to the other schools and how you're treated as media, what you're provided, where you sit, what type of food is available. You got to take care of people, and that you invest in people, and then they'll write stories about you. Positive.
By the fact, we got to hang this up because we going to everybody.
Yeah.
But and let me say this
trying
though.
to get us in trouble. Hey, look,
you
but call me after the show. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
But this is
even as simple as welcoming people, smiling, glad you're here.
Let me say this,
how
though.
Dion praised the press when he finished because he knows you guys are so important.
Let me say this though, and Dion even pointed out that hey, it ain't all about the money while I'm leaving. He said, I just coach football.
Right.
But let me say this though.
And you'll hear the story later.
I would love for you and us to participate in discussion on this. This is a really, really good topic that a lot of people don't want to approach sometimes. And you get some people in the head this morning now. Mm-hmm. But it was true.
But I like the way she challenged the narrative. Well, we just don't do that.
Yeah.
She's well, that's a lie.
Yeah. Right.
We can do it over here. You can
I got an example where it's very effective. Mm-hmm. But so let's think about that in 2023, Dr. Stroman. This is a discussion that we're going to have. Okay.
Awesome.
I think it's the only way we can help them be better. And they probably won't listen, but the point is we have to call it as it is. There's a reason why top talent does not go to HBCUs en masse, because when you look at the facilities, going all the way back to the beginning of our conversation, there are things that can be done to get rid of the mold, to get rid of the rust, to have better equipment, and they just don't want to go there.
Interesting.
Well, Dr. Stroman.
Wow, that's good stuff.
Love, keep doing well, keep sharing, love up on your family and friends.
Yeah.
2023 is going to be a great year.
Yeah,
it is.
Absolutely.
Dr.
Thank
Stroman,
you
as always,
for everything.
you finished it off with a bang.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you for everything you do
We
for
expect
us.
nothing less, Dr. Stroman.
Take care.
Merry Christmas.
Man, I wanted to.
I
wanted to jump into that.
We could talk about 3 hours on that one, boy. Good gracious.
I really wanted to jump into that because if you're doing it right at Virginia, right, proceed to be right, like, shouldn't this be easy to replicate? Shouldn't this have already started somewhere else?
See,
What you got, Graham?